Today we're taking a mold we made up and making some drop-down stalagmites. Hey guys, what's going on? Michael here. So today I'm going to be taking the mold that we made in one of our previous episodes and I'm going to be casting up some stalagmites, and then I'll be doing them up in the 3 different paint schemes that you saw featured in my episode on bubbling pits. There's nothing quite like pulling cave pieces out of a mold to make my sense of imagination spark with wonder.
You'll pioneer with us through countless miles of trackless labyrinths, discover huge subterranean caverns never beheld by human eye, become lost in the weird underground maze.
With our castings out of the molds and dried, we'll get started with the paint jobs. I'm doing 3 different schemes like I did in one of my previous videos. I'll be doing a basic cave paint job, a Underdark paint job, and a lava paint job. If you'd like more details about the individual colors that I'm using for these paint schemes, you can check out the video that I did before. Link for it is up in the corner. My classic cave paint scheme starts out with a brown base coat. In this case, I'm using Porconi Paint's cardboard. My Underdark stalagmites will start out with a pure black base coat. Here you can see the lava stalagmites getting a base coat of white. With all the base coats now dry, I'm going to start out with my classic cave pieces. These will get a wash, and for that I'm using Quickie shoe polish in brown. After a heavy coat, I'm going to go ahead and blot off the excess with a paper towel. I always forget to wear gloves when I do this, and just a word of warning, this shoe polish is a mess to try and scrub off your fingers. Now as we move on to our Underdark pieces, we're going to mix up some of our purple with a little bit of white paint just to lighten it up, just like we did in our previous video. This will get a dry slather. It's a little bit heavier than a dry brush, but not quite like putting on a even coat of wet paint over the entire piece. Just like in our previous video, we'll be using Golden's Hansa Yellow and Napathol Red to add in the lava flows coming down off of these stalagmites. Now it's time for a quick dry brush on our cavern pieces with Porconi Paint's Cavern Dry Brush. Our Underdark pieces are now going to get a dry brush in Sisal Silver, followed up by a dry brush in the Cavern Dry Brush. Now I'll take black and base in all of the lava pieces. You can overlap your lava flows a little bit, and just remember to not leave jagged edges because lava is going to drip and run smoothly. All of the egg nests are going to get based out in Vallejo's Bone White. Now each treasure chest is going to get a coat of Perconi Paint's base wood. Now each of the cavern pieces, I'm going to highlight some of these little mushrooms that are in the cast with Hot Orange by Vallejo. Our Underdark pieces will use arcane acid just like in our previous video to add the little detail touches. Here you can see I'm using a little bit of Vallejo's silver to accent the treasure chests, mainly on the locks and the handles. Now for the vertical bands on the treasure chest, I'll be using Vallejo's bronze. The treasure chests now get a dry brush with Perconi Paint's Stone Edge dry brush. To accent our egg clusters, I've decided to give each of the three a different colored wash, going with green for the classic cave paint scheme, blue for the Underdark paint scheme, and red for our lava paint scheme. The wood of the treasure chest now get a wash in a dark brown. And for our very last step, I'm going over the brass and the silver parts on the treasure chest with a little null oil just to make it look a little aged and dirtied. .3D terrain can create an immensely immersive environment for your players, and there's a tremendous amount of variation that you can achieve just by changing up your paint schemes. Like with the previous video, I chose to do 3 paint schemes, a classic cave, a lava, and an Underdark paint scheme, but you can see how vastly different these pieces look even though the casts are the same. Hey, if you like these videos and want to help me keep making them, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.